You're live.
Yo, my people. Let's get it.
Let's go!
Joy, pains, ups, downs, I'm working all day.
Everything.
Everything's gonna be okay. Gonna hear some good news today.
Come on, come on.
Oh, joys, pains, ups, downs, I'm working all day. Everything's gonna be okay.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son,
Everything's gonna be okay.
that whosoever will believe in him shall not perish but have
Everything's gonna be okay.
everlasting life.
Gonna hear some good news today.
Yo, turn my mic up. Y'all ain't see this coming. Get ready to catch this. Come to snatch your righteous mind, not your edges. God is the goal, and then there's the period. This thing is real. Woo-cha, we serious, intentional, original. God is in control. Do it for your soul. Gotta let the whole world know. Ayo, ayo.
Everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Gonna hear some good news today.
Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning. Everything's gonna be okay. Put it in the comments. Tell somebody. That's what we do around here. We gather together, morning devotional, take some time, sit in God's word, sit in just commentary or thought or reflections, or we even grab something from culture sometimes. But what we always do very consistently is encourage one another, to let one another know everything's going to be okay. So put it in the comments, tell somebody everything's going to be okay, because somebody's going to be looking at that comment that needs to hear it. Somebody is worried. Someone got up with anxiety. Someone got up tripping. Somebody was just, not doing well. Can you just tell somebody everything's going to be okay? Everything's going to be okay. Encourage somebody. Encourage somebody today. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Come on and hear somebody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday. We start a new week. And I want to look at a very familiar passage this morning. It's a classic, it's a staple, and I think it's a great way to start your week. I think it's a great way to start your week. I want to look at John 3:16. John 3:16 this morning. It's a classic verse. It's one of the first verses I learned when I was a little kid. John 3:16. While we're going there, can I just say, for everybody that nominated a pastor, we got, I think, almost 50 something nominations, and we got it narrowed down. Tomorrow we hope to vet today, and tomorrow announce who's going on the cruise with us. Who's going on the cruise with us? So, thank you so much for nominating. If you want to give to help support us being able to continue to do this, the restorationfund.org is where you would go, and you can give. And y'all, I think we're going to start a movement. I want to start a movement of just celebrating and sending pastors away. And just, I think God's just given us a whole vision for how to do this, and I'm just really excited about it. So you'll be hearing more about that, but tomorrow we make the big announcement tomorrow, big announcement tomorrow, big announcement tomorrow. We shouting it out, sending the pastor away who's a minority, who's been working hard and who could use a break. We're all tired. Let's see if we can be a blessing to someone to get them where they need to be. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever would believe in him would not perish, but have everlasting life. For God so loved the world. I think we can have so many different images and dynamics with God. And how we see God will shape how we experience God. How we the framing and the construct that we come up with to put God in will shape how we experience him. And I've been walking with Jesus for a really long time, but it still amazes me how my default position for God. Hold on a second. How do I do this? Let me see. My house, well, let me not give you all my business, but I need to take care of something real quick. Trying to figure out how to do it fast. How we see. All right. That should take care of that. All right, Instagram, we back. We back. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. This is live. This is real TV. We doing this in real time. This is really going down. We really going down. It amazes me how I see God as often as a taskmaster, as a teacher that's really concerned about my grades, as a father who I'm just so eager to impress. It's so interesting how easily I can take God's in his heart, in who he is, and interpret him through who I am. Let me say that again. How I can take God and who he is, but interpret him through who I am. Interpret him through who I am. So my insecurities or my experiences begin to shape how I see God. Because I want to perform and I want to do really well. If I don't do well, I feel like he's mad at me, or I feel like he's disappointed in me, or I feel like he's frustrated with my progress. Sometimes I feel like he got an attitude with me because like I get an attitude with other people. Sometimes I think he's like that relative that you don't ever call, and whenever you call him, the first 20 minutes of the call is why you ain't called. So sometimes I'm hesitant to even talk to God because I think the first thing he wanted to do is judge me because I hadn't talked to him in a while, that he's keeping score on me. And can I just tell you, I just want you to start your week knowing that he's none of those things. He's none of those things. What I love about John 3:16 is it expresses his explicit love. He says, from the very beginning of time, I loved you. And our relationship is not based off of your performance, your goodness, your ability to excel. The health of our relationship is not based off of your morality, your ability not to say swear words, or to abstain from sex until you get married, or to not drink. My love is not conditioned on your performance. This is not an episode of The Voice. Y'all know The Voice has those 4 judges, and their backs are turned. And the only way that you get through to the next level on The Voice is if you perform so well, that you do so well, that a judge is so impressed that he hits the button and turns his chair around. Sometimes I fear that we act like God is a judge in The Voice, and if we perform really well, then maybe he'll turn his chair around and give us a blessing. Maybe he'll turn his chair around and give us affirmation and love. Maybe if he turns his chair around, he'd reach out and he'd heal the cancer. And so if I perform really well, if I do great penitence, if I serve the poor, if I do things really well to get his attention, then maybe he'll be good enough and turn around and give me a blessing. Can I tell you, that is not how God works. That's not who he is. That is not how he works. And the first thing you need to do is stop making your relationship with God all about you. Your relationship with God needs to be all about God. Because you're the most temperamental one in this relationship, not God. You're the most inconsistent in this relationship, not God. And watch this. You're the least likely to love well, not God. God said, I'm going to love you consistently. I'm going to love you thoroughly. I'm going to love you holistically. And it will not ever, ever be based off of how good you did last week. He says, I already know I already know you struggled last week. That's why I went into last week before last week and put a grace in last week that'll get you to this week. It was my grace that got you here. It was my goodness. It was my kindness. Watch this. It was my love. I loved you before you even got out the car in the parking lot to walk on the stage. God says, my chair was already turned around. My chair was already turned around. Before you were formed in your mama's womb, before your daddy looked at your mama and started giggling, I was already turned around saying, I love you. I love you. Now imagine then what today could look like if you started today from a place of a blessed assurance that you are loved by God. That you are, the song says, I'm already loved, I'm already chosen. I know who I am. God has already spoken. Today, beloved, I want you to start this week off knowing you are loved. You are loved. Without condition, without performance, you are loved. Some of you, you are in sin and you are spiritually just off the wagon. You are just distant and you thinking, I can't really go to God because he probably got an attitude with me because I'm living outside of his will and his plan for me. And I'm telling you, even in your wretchedness, God's love still loves you. He still reaches out for you, and you can still sit with him. You can still be with him. Now, ultimately, he desires that you would know that love and trust that love and surrender your life to that love and live according to his will. But if you ain't there today, that don't mean his love ain't there today. Do you see what I'm saying? I just don't want you to believe the lie another second that you are not fully loved. Watch this, right where you are. Right where you are. So what if you started this week from the reality of knowing that I'm already loved? I'm already loved. You are loved this Tuesday. You are loved by God. You are seen by God. And watch this, you are known by God. So number one, and I'm going to let you go. Number one, he loves you. Number two, he sees you. You are not lost. He sees you. And number three, he know you. He know you. He know all of you. He know you. Stop trying to manipulate God. Stop trying to hide from God. Stop trying to create that. He know you can't. He know exactly where you are. He know exactly where your heart is. He know exactly what you're going to do 3 weeks from now. He already knows you. And that should blow your mind when you can say and hear that he knows fully who I am and he still loves me like this. He still loves me like this. He loves you like that, girl. He loves you like that, bro. He loves you like that. And he deeply desires that you would just stand in his love, that you'd walk in his love, that you would live from love. Watch this. We don't work for love. We live from love. We don't work for love. We live from love. So his love has established me. His love has defined me. So now I live from that. You don't work. You don't have to work for forgiveness. You live from forgiveness. You don't have to work for salvation. You live out from salvation. So where you start is a pretty big deal. Because if you start from a place of performance, you're going to miss the grace of God. But if you just say today, you know what? I'm loved. I'm toe up from the flow up, but I'm loved. I'm jacked up. I got areas in my life that are broken that I ain't proud of, but Jesus loves me. So today, my desire is to love him well, is to love him back. And I love him back by living by living from that love, that blessed assurance that I belong. Because half the stuff you sinning with, the half stuff you're struggling with is stuff that you're reaching for that's outside of your identity. So if you can establish your identity in God's love, you probably wouldn't even be doing half the stuff you're doing. You wouldn't even be struggling with half the stuff that you're doing, because his love, it is the most satisfying thing that you could ever experience. So my friend, today, may you walk in this week knowing that you're already loved. You're already chosen. Trust him and know who you are, because he's already spoken. He's already got your destiny, your purpose. He's got a promise. There's a blessing over your life there's a blessing on your life that's just waiting on you to check in to get it. It's destiny on your life. He's already spoken. He's got a purpose for your life. He's just waiting on you to show up and get it. You're already loved. You're already affirmed, already approved, already chosen. God's already got a plan for your life. All you got to do is show up and receive the love. Not perform for it, not work hard to try to get it. You already got it. Whenever I land in Chicago, whenever I preach at Willow Creek, there's a guy that picks me up, a guy named Randy. And he's been my driver in Chicago for years now. So whenever I land, he picked me up. And usually that Chicago trek is pretty brutal. I'm usually coming in and leaving out the next day. So Randy always just, I don't have to want for anything. I don't even take a big coat when I'm there in the winter, because I'm not even outside a lot. Randy's right there at the airport to pick me up. I get right in a car. Randy picks me up from the hotel, takes me right to the church. I mean, he just takes care of me. One of the greatest things he does, though, when I get in the car, he gives me my hotel key. Randy goes to the hotel before I even land, checks me in, makes sure that my room is good, and he gets the key. So when I get in the truck, he says, here's the key to your room, here's your room number. And when I get to the hotel, I don't even have to check in. I can just go straight to my room. I can just go straight to the place where I need to go and get rest. God is saying, I already got your key to your destiny. You ain't got to check in. You ain't got to put no card on file. You ain't got to work. You ain't got to do nothing. All you got to do is get this key from me. I've already provided for your purpose. I've already made a way for you. All you got to do is just get the key. Your journey has already been long, and I know you're weary. So I have gone before you. I have paid the price for the place where you will rest. Your resting place, your place of peace and restoration has already been paid for. You ain't got to stop and put your name on nothing, because it's in my name, Jesus says. You ain't got to stop and put your credit on anything, because it's in my blood, purchased by my blood. All you got to do is get the key that I have provided for you and walk into your place of rest. Oh, I wish I had a witness up in here today. God is saying, just get the key. You working, you trying to earn your keep, you trying to check in, he says, it's in my name, it's purchased by my blood. All you got to do is get the key and go to the room and rest, the room of restoration, the room of peace, the room of grace, the room of love. Just get to the room. You're already loved. So start this week by grabbing the key and walk in your place of rest. Walk in your place. Some of you just tight with anxiety, tight with stuff, and it's worthy stuff. It's burdens. This stuff that other people be freaking out, and it's tight. But I'm telling you, what if you release that and grab the key and know that I'm already loved? I'm already chosen for purpose. I'm already chosen for greatness. Father, today may I walk in it. Today may I walk in the purpose and the grace, because Jesus has already got the key. All I got to do is walk in the place where my rest will shape who I am. So today, may you go into your week, go into your class, go into your workspace, go into your community, go into your place of service, go knowing that I'm loved, because you are. And when you walk in love, you begin to live in love. May you walk and live in love. God bless you. I'll see y'all tomorrow.